Hi, this is Kim, and today I'm making a video on redefining and living the word awkward. I'm doing this because I noticed that the way I was living awkward in my life was actually limiting and compromising me, because I would avoid awkwardness at almost all costs. And just in that action of avoidance means I'm avoiding parts of myself, I'm avoiding parts of life. And who knows what is in those parts that could be discovered and learned and how I can expand. I would never know if I continued to avoid them. Another way I would live the word awkwardness that was limiting and compromising me was that I found that in awkward situations, just in order to get through them and as quickly as possible and not have to endure them, I would just kind of talk like this incessant or inconsiderate stream of words, with almost a bit of a desperation there to get through the awkward moment. And to me, that was shaking a little bit my integrity, because the words I was speaking was not, I didn't take a moment before speaking to make sure that the words I'm speaking are who I am and words I can stand by. So, I mean, it is cool to be able to, from time to time, step into a character and speak and try to make the situation more comfortable. But for me, it had become a problem. And so I'm going to be looking at redefining and living this word in a way that actually assists and supports me to expand, to grow, and to plant the seeds of qualities that I would prefer, such as confidence and integrity and tact, ingenuity, discernment. And I'll tell you why, those specific words. So I'm just going to read one thing. It's the dictionary definition of the word awkward. To be awkward means to be not dexterous, to clumsily or unskillfully perform, difficult to handle or manage, difficult to effect, uncomfortable, distress, requiring great tact, ingenuity, skill, and discretion. So when we accept this dictionary definition, these are the words that we're living within the word awkward. Is not dexterous, is clumsy, unskilled, difficult, uncomfortable, distress. So to me, this requires a change, and a change can be attained through redefining and living this word differently than we have been. When I looked into the word, I found that the Middle English word awk from awkward means wrong, and word means way, like forward and backward. So the word together means wrong way. But to me, the word, as in W-A-R-D, it sounds just like the word word, W-O-R-D. So when I look at the word awkward, the solution and instructions I can find within the word is that we're living the wrong words when we're living the word awkward. So, as I mentioned, we're living not dexterous, clumsy, difficult, distress, uncomfortable. But at the same time, within the definition of the word awkward, there's also what I will call the right words, as opposed to the wrong words. Hidden in the definition is actually also the solution. Those words are tact, ingenuity, skill, and discretion. So I decided to find ways to bring in those words into the word awkward. So how do we actually live this application? This is well, I'll just tell you some of the experience that I've had with how to bring in tact, ingenuity, skill, and discretion when and as I find myself in awkward moments. So, as I said before, I used to avoid awkward moments or incessantly talk just to get through them and not experience any kind of awkward or uncomfortable silence. Now, what I do is, when I feel awkward, I take a breath and I embrace that awkwardness, because it is who and how I am in that moment, but it's who and how I handle, it's who I am and how I handle that situation in those moments that will define who I become and how I choose to live. So I embrace the word unconditionally, and I just accept the fact that I'm feeling awkward. I'm going to be feeling awkward anyway. I might as well use this moment to create and expand myself as something that would be a step towards me realizing my utmost potential, the best version of me, my best. So I take a breath and I slow down, and I don't speak, whereas before I would speak mindlessly without considering my words. And I do one of 3 or 4 things. The first thing I do is I use that awkward moment as a moment to get to know the individual I'm with. So with applying a little bit of ingenuity, I can reflect back to conversations I've had with that person or things that they've said, and I can just ask questions and open up a little bit more about them. Taking that moment that I would normally avoid or fill with my words and use it instead to get to know the individual with whom I'm spending that moment. And that leads to the creation of a little bit more depth in a relationship with that person. I get to know a bit more who they are. And another thing I can do is I can open up myself. This has also become a skill that I'm developing, where before I used to think I had not much to say about myself. I found it difficult to talk about myself. And it's not like a bragging or a boasting, it's a sharing. And I've had to walk a process of sharing myself with me, developing that skill. So here we're bringing in the word skill, one of what I'm calling the right words instead of the wrong words. Developing the skill of sharing, and where it involves learning how to share yourself with yourself first so that you're comfortable with sharing, and so that you don't feel that there's some parts of you that's unshareable because you've explored yourself through self-exploration, through sharing with yourself. And so in an awkward moment, I may use the skill of self-sharing, use ingenuity to find something that is relevant to share and not just like random, talking about myself. So that also brings in the word discretion, because I'm using this awkward moment to use my discretion to find a part of me that's relevant in the moment with the individual that I can open up and share, and who knows what will come from that. Another thing that I've done in awkward moments is within taking a breath, embracing the awkwardness. If I search and I don't find any relevant questions to ask the person, or I don't find anything relevant to share about myself, I'll just have a moment of silence, and I won't try to run away from it or try to avoid it. I will just allow that moment to be silent. And what I've noticed in this application is that, sometimes it is just a moment of silence, but sometimes it actually gives the other person an opportunity to open something up, maybe ask me a question or share something about themselves. And what was happening in the past is that because I was filling these moments with my incessant chit-chat, I wasn't even giving the other person or people an opportunity to have that moment, kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt that they can also manage to fill this moment with something constructive instead of something that is limiting and kind of a questionable integrity of words in those moments. So this is how I've been practicing living my redefinition of the word awkward, and what I've noticed as a result is seeds being planted, such as seeds of confidence, where I no longer feel that I'm having to run from anything or hide anything, but rather that I can just stand as who I am in any moment, remain constant and consistent despite the awkwardness, the uncomfortability, the clumsiness, and all of that. I've also noticed the seeds planted of integrity in those moments where I'm still considerate of my words, even though in the past I may have spoken without too much awareness of what I was saying, just to get through the moment. And lastly, of course, the the skills and qualities of using my own ingenuity, my own ability to develop skills, to use tact and discretion in moments with individuals where with these skills you can actually open up relevant topics and get to know and share parts of yourself that you might not have otherwise done. You might have just avoided that moment and missed all of those opportunities and all that potential development. So that is my experience so far with redefining and living the word awkward in such a way that is best for me and leads towards just becoming, somebody that's taking steps towards self-improvement, self-change, self-expansion, self-empowerment. All right, so thank you very much for listening. This is Kim, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.